So here we are, we're heading off to Eastview. It's one of our furthest farms away. It's about 45, 50 minutes at least running down the road on this sprayer here. It's gonna be quite a tour, but we got the chemical truck here. It's gonna start chasing us in about 20 minutes. That way we got 6,000 gallons of nitrogen on there with a bit of sulfur mixed in order to keep the wheat happy down there.
If you want to hang
Ugh, these guys obstructing our road. What do they think they're doing? Fixing hydro lines. Certainly got quite a setup there. Just off to our right there, that big solar farm that went in a few years back, it certainly caused quite a commotion. Everybody around here was awful up in arms. But hey, it's always funny how things like that, once they're done, about a month later, nobody's even talking about it. It always makes me laugh, right, when there's change happening. Everybody sees there's destruction, and you know, it's just nobody wants it in their backyard, I guess. But hey, it's good energy. We're getting her done. Dad just caught up behind me there, pulling my nitrogen on behind me, so he'll just be waiting for a clear stretch here where he can swing on around and keep going. Oh, it's good to see some other farmers are out and about today. Who is this we got coming on up here? Oh, it's the Youngs. They're good folk. They just load up the road here where we're about to go. He's actually our Farmer's Edge rep in our area, as well as our pig seed rep. We don't do any dealings with pig seed, but we are big advocates in the area of Farmer's Edge. Sometimes I wonder if we've sold more units than he has. Seem to be referring a lot of people. Turning into the driveway. I thought they'd be further ahead of me. Looks like they're still here as well. Guess they're just getting the pumps and stuff unloaded, getting the hoses set up. We'll be able to rock. Alrighty, so I just replaced the nozzle out there. Can't believe I lost that. That was a bit of a beginner's move. And bring our RPMs back up. Get ourselves streaming, and away we go. Yep. Here we go. Oh god. I don't know who planted this field, but it's awful tight. You can't follow the roads like you usually would. Bit annoying. Definitely makes it trickier. But it is really important that we get the nitrogen rate out there to the end. So if we end up losing a few nozzles in the process, it's not the end of the world. It's one of the operating costs, we always figured. Here we go, we're laying it down at 22 gallons an acre. So that's our mixture of nitrogen and sulfur. To help get this wheat coming back. Take it later, take a look at it, but the wheat's actually purpled a little bit on top, which is probably a little bit due to the stress from lack of fertilizer, but also we've been having a lot of really cold snaps lately. It's been causing a lot of issues surrounding getting the wheat growing. But hey, it's not much that can be done about that. That's weather, that's farming. It's all part of the game. And that's our headland done. Certainly is a nice day out here. This is the first of many reloads. See, we don't need any of those fancy front loading sprayers. You just bring her up, kitty corner her, that way you can reach. Well, it certainly feels like I'm having one of those days. As you can see here, probably everything's just soaking wet. Just backed up from the trailer here off my first fill. I just blew a hydraulic line there. It's just a little pinprick, but it's enough to shut me down. You can't be driving around with hydraulic oil just flying everywhere. So got Dad coming up here. Not sure if he's got any parts on the truck or not. Probably gonna have to head back to the shop, which is a real inconvenience here because we're at least 45 minutes away in a pickup. So this might be me for the day. Probably not gonna get a whole lot more spraying done, unfortunately. So we just got the hydraulic line fixed there that I burst after my first fill. And then I came out here to start spraying. Well, first we had to go all the way down into Coburg because the line was actually so small that we weren't able to crimp it in our own press to seal it off, to get the fittings attached to the hose. I can show you that's all a bit later if you guys want. But yeah, so we got that crimped and all set up. We had to go down to Extreme Motorsports there in Coburg, get that sorted. We got that here, got it fitted on, and then I came out here to start my first pass, and my whole right hand side of the boom, the last section there, so I don't know, 5-6 nozzles, they just weren't spraying. Well, that's a problem for sure. So we just got that sorted. But I just ended up, it was a pretty simple fix. I was able to, in the end, just tap the solenoid that pulses to let it know that solution's able to go out to that end of the boom. And just tapping it. Sometimes it gets a little stuck. Haven't had that happen yet this year, but hey, it happened. We got it sorted. We're back spraying. It's a lot to watch right now. We don't have any boom control on for height, so I'm always looking at the two edges to make sure that our boom's not dragging. We're getting ready to drag. Just one extra step. Oh, that was a close one. Oh, it was going crazy. That was pretty wet in there. It's not quite ideal conditions, as you can see there. We were in a pretty sinky hole there. A lot of water sitting right here, but it's our last farm that we want to get some nitrogen down on. It's quite a ways away, so it's a little bit harder for us to manage, unfortunately. It's not ideal. It's about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on what you're driving, as you saw there in my video earlier. Yeah, we're getting it done. just noticed that my far left nozzle there isn't working right. So we're just gonna go out and take a look at it. Figure out what the heck's going on here. Oh, that's not too bad. As you can see there, it's just been bumped. Go like that. Just get her facing down, and there she goes again. I noticed also on the far side here, this one here is actually backwards or something, so we can fix that too at the same time. That's easy enough, it's just going like that. Putting it on here now like that. And that should have us spraying it in the right direction. There we go. Head back to the sprayer and get her done. Bit funny out here. There's places where the ground is dry, then there's places where it's muddy. It's classic Central Eastern Ontario conditions. Guidance on, running our AB lines, getting her done. We're heading back here now, just finished filling up. I ended up doing a little bit more than what we planned on doing up here in this field. But hey, just wanted to get some nice runs in, get some acres covered. So far we've done about 100 acres in this field. Still another 110, 15 to go, the monitor says. We're heading back to this little field back here. It's another 20, 30 acres. Should have just enough to do it in one tank full of plants, so that way we don't have to fold up again. It takes a lot of time folding up and unfolding. It's not very good for productivity by any means. But yeah, tight little trail as well going back there, which is a bit frustrating, but not much you can do about it. There's a lot in the way to make it a 90-foot path. Well, we made it into this smaller field here, as you can see. There's really not much to it. It's only 22 acres worth, 0.7 remaining, so it's 23 acres in total. It's a real small piece here, but hey, every acre counts as long as it doesn't take too much time to get to. Yeah, we're getting her knocked off on the last pass here, which is certainly nice. Certainly a hilly little piece though, lots of points. Makes your productivity a little bit higher than it should be. We're 0.5 gallons per acre on average, more than what we should have been, but there's not much that can be done about that. Yeah, we're getting her knocked off. Last pass here, fold up, and go back up to the big field. Get her done, 100 acres remaining. Well, we're back out here in the main field, which is good. Sun is starting to set over there. Probably got, probably about an hour's worth of sunlight on a rough calculation. What time are we at here? We're at 6:42. And we got 97 acres left. So we got a little bit of time here ahead of us. A few hours more spraying for sure. Just heading back up to the truck here to try to get some more liquid on me. It's gonna be tight. We got about 20 acres left here in front of us. I think there's probably more than an acre between me and that truck. Well, we'll see what happens. Just came on over here to do this side of the farm. There's some shorter rows here. Only had another 300 gallons on me, so it's a good place to dump it without getting stuck in the middle of a long run. But yeah, the light is starting to set. It is at this time of night that it gets harder and harder to see the streams of nitrogen hitting the ground. We are using streaming nozzles, which works quite well. But even like the mist nozzles and different size droplet nozzles, The darker it gets, the harder it gets to see. I know we've been talking a lot lately, but looking into getting, oh, I'm not sure what they're called technically, but a lot of the guys around here call them Smurf lights. It's basically strip lighting that runs along your boom, but allows you to spray at night. It creates a blue light that you can, so that way you can see what's going on along the boom to make sure that you don't have any nozzles out. I think they'd be pretty sweet, but it all adds up, I guess. You gotta figure out what's right for your operation. We usually don't end up spraying too much in the dark, but it is like the times like tonight where we're an hour away from home and we just don't want to get, we just don't want to have to split it up and do it in 2 goes. So we're just going to keep forging ahead and getting her done. We only got 73 acres left here, so we'll get her done. Might be a little bit tight on solution. We might have to move the trailer around a little bit and tip the tanks in order to get the last out of them. I don't know, I was told there was 5,000 gallons that got sent down here. I think it was probably closer to 4,000, which means I'm going to be within an acre or two to finish. That is awful tight for my liking. Okay, so we've only got I got 200 gallons left on me. We're gonna suck out the last 400 gallons off there. Unfortunately, when I was last filling, I broke the pull cord on the pump to pump it manually, so that we're not using a nurse tank anymore. We're gonna try to suck it using the sprayer, which is a feature the sprayer comes with, but it can be a bit finicky sometimes, so that's why I've left lots on the sprayer, so that way I can try to suck out the last 400 gallons that's easily accessible on that trailer. My dad parked it on a bit of an angle, so there's a bit of solution down in the corners of it, which is a bit problematic, but I think we're gonna have just enough. We bumped our rate down to 17 gallons an acre instead of 22 for these last 30 acres, so that way we can finish it up. It's a bit frustrating having to do that, but next time we're here, we can just top up our area there a little bit, hit it a little heavier with nitrogen. It's not perfect, but it'll have to do. That way we're not messing around with trailers in the dark here tonight. So I revved my engine up to 1800 RPM, got my solution pump off inside. I think we're gonna turn the lights on. I think it's that time of night now. It's starting to get pretty dark out there. And here we go. come back over here, open that valve. We take this big heavy valve in here, slowly open it. And away we go here again. Like usual, it wasn't easy getting it to suck. Just using the onboard pump, but it's also the solution pump, so it doesn't actually, it has no tolerance for any air to be moving through it, which causes a lot of problems when you don't have much head pressure coming out of the other tank. But after a lot of fiddling around, we did get it going. Probably took about 20-30 minutes, longer than I'd hoped to spend, but a lot of stuff's gone wrong today. We've had that, we've had the hydraulic line explode. It's just been one thing after another. It's been getting a bit old today, I'll be honest, but there's not much that can be done about it, so we're just moving on and getting her done. We had to, like we were talking about earlier, we ended up dropping our rate down a little bit, so now we ended up doing 18 gallons per acre in the end. That should gain us an extra 136 gallons over the remaining 34 acres, which should see us enough to finish. Is the plan anyways, but hey, plans always fall apart, it seems like today, so we'll see what happens. But it's a bit dark right now, so just get her done. Well, unfortunately, we had about 1,000 feet of the field there left, so decided to come away from it. Our math was a little bit off. Turns out the boundaries on that field, they're old boundaries, we didn't reset them. They were off by probably about, I don't know, an acre or so. Bit frustrating, but there's nothing that can be done about it, so we're coming away from it. Maybe we'll get back down here if we keep the sprayer at one of our closer locations. We're only about half an hour on the road to it, so toss some solution in the tank and go maybe in the future, but I don't know, we'll have to see where we are at time and when we start planting. Basically it is wheat at the end of the day, and it's other more important things out there.